The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of its hosts, guests, or callers, and do not necessarily represent the opinions of WTBR-FM, its management, other producers, or sponsors.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are not from the 60s.
That's a weird intro for us, yeah.
It's right, yeah, it is kind of the polar opposite. Welcome to the Bird's Eye View. I'm Jesse. I'm joined here by Mike on Pittsfield Community Radio, 89.7 WTBR-FM, Pittsfield, 88.1 WSBR Lee. It did feel like the 90s last night, though, because the Knicks choked massively to the Pacers. Then Tyrese Halliburton
he did the choking
thing. Yeah, it was... I feel like this was a little bit karmic because of all the crazy wins that the Knicks have had against the Pistons, against the Celtics in this series. Mike especially knows the pain of the latter one.
I tried to find joy in watching last night, and I couldn't get there yet.
I'll be honest. It was hard for me to find like
any emotion whatsoever.
I was so stunned by what was happening. I almost it was hard to be mad because Aaron Nesmith defied logic. I mean, you know, you gotta
Former Celtic Aaron Nesmith.
The rare Brad Stevens, Danny Ainge. Rare that they miss on a player like that, and they just let him go for nothing. But yeah, I mean, the last few threes he took, it's not like the Knicks were just leaving. He was like 4 feet behind the line. He's top of the arc. He's 3 feet back, and he's just firing, and he's canning them. Like, oh my God. It was incredible. He just couldn't miss. He was 8 of 9 from 3 in the game. 20 points. He had 10 points in the first 3 quarters. He finished with 30. Insane. And then, yeah, Tyrese Halliburton also, I mean, he talking about, like, Mikal knocked the ball loose, so we wanted to, like, regroup and he left. He was in at the elbow, closer, and then he leaves, like, to take the 3 for the win. Unreal. It's stupid, but it was cold-blooded as heck. And then, yeah, straight up and then back in. And he deserved to do the choke, even though he got Kevin Duranted, but they actually won in OT. And he deserved to do the choke fully because the Knicks did. You can't miss your... I don't know how many times I said it during basketball season. Make your free throws. I scream it from the rooftops when we talk about high school ball. The Knicks didn't, which, you know, they're professional athletes. It's unconscionable. And they lost. And yeah, no, Tyrese Halliburton he has been on a revenge tour ever since... He got voted most overrated, which I still, for the life of me, cannot understand. I do not understand that at all. Rick Carlisle has done a fantastic job to just build the team around him. But yeah, he is that dude. And the Pacers, I think they're going to go to the finals just because, like, the Knicks, Tibbs doesn't play anyone, and the Pacers are like 8 or 9 deep, and they're going to run you up and down the court. And I don't think the Knicks have the gas in the tank. Speaking of gas in the tank, Henry...
short-lived.
I think he's just he's agreeing with me.
Yes, he was also disappointed watching last night that it wasn't a Boston Celtics game.
That was it. I thought he was just a big Tyrese Halliburton fan.
He may have gotten his dad back for like a week.
Well, there's that. His dad stopped being a psychopath, a maniac. So yeah, that was painful. But it was also just kind of stunning to watch. Yeah, that's what I guess I can leave it. Yeah, like so that was just, it really was. I texted my dad. I'm like, it's the 90s all over again. Like you had your heart ripped out by Reggie Miller, and now I'm being stunned on the couch at like 10:45.
There's nothing better than watching like the Knicks. Like it's since the Lakers bottomed out in the first round and won one game. This is like the new.
Is this your therapy?
Masochistic, like watching. Like there's nothing better than watching the Knicks lose at home because it's just a bunch of the wealthiest people on the human.
It's for you. It's sadistic.
It's sadistic. Yes, sorry, masochist, sadistic. But yeah, watching all like Timothy Chalamet is upset. This brings me great joy. Kylie Jenner's upset. Ben Stiller's upset. It brings me great joy. So they've kind of taken that mantle, I guess, from the Lakers. I
think it's like more just that Boston does a poor job of attracting famous people.
We have a very core group of famous people that are famous
only in Boston?
Mostly because they're from Boston, I guess. Yes.
Like who? Like who?
Well, you know, the general Boston Hollywood crew, no? Damon Affleck.
Oh, sure. But they're never at
Wahlberg.
Celtics games.
Donnie Wahlberg's always there.
Oh, so the worst Wahlberg.
That's what I'm saying. They're known
I was like,
solely because they're from
I think Boston just like suffers.
And then it's mostly like athletes, like Poppy will be there or something.
Yeah. But that happens for
it used to
all
be
of
like
them.
Kraft or Belichick would pop up. Or,
No,
yeah.
I mean, you could tell the Knicks were getting hot because like Russell Wilson was at a few of the games, and Michael Strahan was at a few of the games, and yeah.
Trust me. I was at a bachelor party over the weekend. Some guys had set up a projector screen in the living room, and it was a miserable night. Miserable experience.
Well, we'll move on from there. There were some miserable, but there's some good experiences for Berkshire County teams this past week. Western Mass playoffs have started. We'll break down who's still left alive. But we should hit on Monday. Mike, you saw the Lennox boys tennis team make it to the Western Mass finals. They were supposed to play yesterday. Rain occurred, so that didn't happen.
Yes.
On Tuesday, I saw the Lennox girls tennis team make it to the Western Mass final. So both Lennox teams are in the final. Ironically, the boys will host Pioneer Valley Chinese Immersion Charter School, and the girls will be at Pioneer Valley Chinese Immersion Charter School. So they could not.
Or hear me out. Play it on a neutral site together.
that would make things a lot easier. But
neither are currently scheduled or rescheduled, as it were. It looks like Lennox girls are supposed to play Friday, but it's TBD, and the boys are still, as per the arbiter, played yesterday, but with no result. And yeah, I showed up there, and it was pouring rain, and they had postponed.
they wanted to, or the Lennox coach wanted it to be earlier, but PBCS said bus issues.
Yeah,
or at least they pled bus issues, but is what it is. So yeah, they'll figure out when to play that. And yeah, good wins for Lennox. We'll see if they can get the sweep. The girls won back-to-back titles.
Monica Herman dynasty right now, because I think the two teams combined have one senior, just one Lennox boy, I believe, and they're kind of perennially now the class. They've taken the mantle from Lee, from Greylock, and now they are kind of the class in both boys and girls. And from the looks of it, will be for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, they should be pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how the Pioneer Valley Chinese, how the girls do, because the boys have been the one that were great always, and now it's the first time the girls have been really good. So we'll see if they can keep up that kind of level of success the boys program has had the last few years. But yeah, so tennis, we're kind of just in the wait and see mode. Like I said, Lennox girls back-to-back titles, so they're trying to make it a three-peat. Speaking of back-to-back titles, Hoosick Valley boys lacrosse played yesterday. Generally had their way with Granby. That was at home. They won in the semifinals in Class C. Hoosick won the Class C title last year, beat Lennox. Lennox had won 2 straight, so Hoosick took the crown. So now Hoosick is back in the Western Mass final, and they're going to face either Lennox or McCann Tech. That game is supposed to be Friday at BCC. So that should be a huge game because, McCann was actually in the inaugural Class C championship game, lost to Lennox, and obviously Hoosick beat Lennox last year. McCann and Lennox have played some good games this year. They tied, actually, 5-5 just a few days ago because in the regular season, you only play one OT period, is what I was told. You only play one overtime period. It's golden goal, and after 4 minutes, no one scored. And so in the postseason, you would have kept playing, and in the regular season, they're like, no, we're done.
Yep. And both gave Hoosick good games during the regular season as well. I saw them both play at Hoosick and at Lennox, and both were, I think, capable games that either team could have won. Lennox probably more so. They were up in that game until the fourth quarter. McCann was kind of just a goal or two behind throughout it, but should be a fun championship regardless of who makes it, and that'll be, I guess, sometime next week, probably back at BCC.
Right. No, right now it's supposed to be Wednesday BCC, but we'll see what happens, obviously, weather and all that. Berkshire County has kind of ruled Class C so far. This will be the 4th straight year. The new tournaments happen. This is the 4th straight year that it's been an all Berkshire final. I think it could be very, very good games. Hopefully it'll be a good crowd because it's all Berkshire teams. And like you said, I think it could go either way. Friday definitely could. Hoosick, once again, having kind of those slow starts and then they take over. But, Coach Jacob Anderson Hall he knows very well, like, he can't be a slow start in the final against McCann or Lennox. Both teams that want Huzik really badly. And I also should mention Huzik goalie Max Griffin. He's a junior, got his 400th career save. So congrats to him. That was a nice moment. And it was something that he also acknowledged. His save numbers aren't where they have been the last 2 years, but that's because he's been doing less because the defense has stepped up.
They have I think by far the best defense that I've seen, and it's all pretty much big, strong, athletic seniors.
Yeah, big football kids that are doing what they need to do. So, yeah. Boys lacrosse will be interesting. Girls lacrosse, it was a highly anticipated game. Wacona and Hoosick Valley girls lacrosse, they hadn't played in 2 years, and it was not a very good game. Wacona,
did not. It
started, Hoosick's up 1, then Wacona ties it, then Hoosick's up 2-1, then Wacona goes on a 6-0 run. And it's not a game, and Wacona, they smacked them. There's no other way to put it. They won 17-4. It was not close. It was frankly not all that competitive. Wacona was the better team. They played better. Maybe Hoosick just no-showed. Maybe they just had a bad day. I don't know. But from that game, Wacona, top to bottom, looked like the better team. Danielle Hagmeyer was phenomenal. She had 7 goals and 2 assists. She had 5 goals and an assist in the first half. She was the best player on the field by far. She was phenomenal. And it was also easily the best game I've seen from Fallon Renderer, who to me has been a fine goalie, but not necessarily a difference maker. And she made a difference in the game. She had like 4 saves in the first quarter, stopped several one-on-one opportunities, a free position shot, legitimately made a difference by preventing Huzik from scoring. Mm-hmm. Henry also clearly a Fallon Renderer, Tyrese Halliburton, clearly big
met
fans.
Her mom at the hair salon.
There you go. She's back in the family. Yeah, no. So she had a good game. And yeah, I mean, I think, Huzik, you can kind of tell their goal was, okay, Brooke Harrington's one of their best players, take her out of the game. Mia and Brooke Thomas, 2 of the best players, generally took those kids out of the game. But once again, Daniel Hagmeyer stepped up in a big way, scored 7 goals. Anna Doyle had 5 goals. So, yeah, other people more than showed out and filled their spot. And the biggest issue was Wacona completely controlled possession. I mean, Huzik could not clear the ball. Could not get across midfield. Could not clear the ball. And Wacona just had these long possessions or kept getting out in transition. So that'll be very interesting. It was a little wet, but still, both teams are playing in the same conditions. So we'll see how Huzik recovers. They have about a week off before states. And then Wacona, they are going to be playing South Hadley. We're going to find out when that game is. I don't know. TBD. Mike, I don't know if it's on.
I didn't look for that one yet. Yeah, I just think it's a wild turn. So Wacona last year won 4 games and looked like downright bad. They were just super, super young. A lot of these freshmen were 8th graders playing last year. And as far as upperclassmen, it was pretty much still just Fallon Renderer.
Yeah.
So to kind of turn it around like this is a wild thing. And maybe we should have tagged, like, obviously you saw them beat South Hadley on Saturday. So South Hadley's the reigning champion, beat Huzik in the final last year and the 1 seed. So them coming out of that game probably maybe should have hinted a little bit that, like, okay, we need to take Wacona seriously in this game. But if you were to tell me that that was the score, I would have assumed, okay, Emma Mezwar had 7 goals, Ashley Lejeune had 5 goals, Giuseppe Felix had 6 assists, and Huzik did what Huzik does. To have them score 4 goals in a game like this is wildly disappointing and just kind of shocking.
Yeah, I wasn't shocked that Wacona lost. I wasn't shocked that Wacona won. I was shocked how Huzik lost. That's to me what was the surprise, that they just completely got blown out of the water. Mm-hmm. It's interesting you mentioned last year, because Kathy Budaj, the Wacona coach, actually said, last year we're 0-14 and we finished 4-14. And I looked at my assistant coach and I say, I really liked how we closed the season. I think we could be, I think we have a group here. And I guess they built on whatever went into the close. They built on that. Yes, evidently.
She told me earlier this year that, like, a lot of those kids play lacrosse. They enjoy the sport, so they're doing it a little bit in the off season, and just everyone kind of showed up a little bit better. They got Anna Doyle back. who didn't play last year, almost solely because there were no other kids in her class who played. But they have, I think, 3 juniors now, so she's developed a little bit more relationships. Her coming back is a big boost to both that midfield and a little bit of add some scoring potency, I guess.
Oh yeah, she's good. She's very good for their offense.
So that was a big boost. But to just like they clearly knew what the situation was. They were gamed up and they handled an offense that can really pour up points. And has 2 girls over 400 points. Emma Meswar's over 500 career points. So to hold them to 4 goals, shut them out in the second half is very impressive. That game, per the PVIC site, it's not on Wacona's Arbiter yet, but it says Tuesday at Springfield Central.
Okay, yeah, so there you go. So Wacona beat South Hadley 11-10 last weekend at home. They also lost, I believe it was 13-9 at South Hadley early in the season. They're in the same league, so
they played a lot of strong competition this year, stronger than I think you could say Huzik played, almost for sure, and that clearly kind of paid off, I guess, down the stretch here. So I don't know if that speaks to something for scheduling, but this was Huzik's chance too. Like a lot of these girls are seniors, that kind of core 4 there up top. Won't be back next year, so they do have a chance here to make some noise in states. But this was their opportunity, and it's a bummer to see it go by, but cool to see it for Wacona and what could be like a Lennox tennis style dynasty here for them. Yeah, if
they all stick with it, they could be very, very good. They're all young, so that'll be interesting to see versus South Hadley, the rubber match. They kind of were lucky to win the weekend game, but that was also their 4th game in 5 days. So now that they have a little bit of time to rest, maybe it'll be a different story. We'll tell you, we're going to come back, take a little break, and we'll talk some baseball and some softball when we return. So stick with us here on WTBR and WSBR.
Tired of the same old on the radio?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's all the same day.
Hi, I'm Hannah. Each week I search the archives for hidden gems from your favorite artists, plus all the latest releases in rock trivia. Please join me for Deep Cuts, Thursdays, 4 to 6, at 89.7 WTBR-FM.
At Pittsfield Community Television, we have a saying: anyone can learn to create television. With the support of trained production staff, we can teach you how to professionally operate a camcorder, use editing software to tell a story, work as a team in a production studio, and take those skills into the community. If you've been curious as to how video production works, we'd love to have you as a member. Visit us online at pittsfieldtv.org or call us at 445-4234 for more information.
All right, folks, welcome back here to WTBR and WSBR. This is the Bird's Eye View. Jesse and Mike, and Henry's been he's been talkative, so he'll chime in when he's got something to say. Big Tyrese Halliburton fan, we know that. Thankfully, the Pacers and the Celtics didn't play each other, so wasn't an issue at the home. But anyway, we were talking some Western Mass playoffs. So we talked about Lennox girls and boys tennis are in the finals. We're waiting to see when those will be played. Both teams are playing Pioneer Valley Chinese Immersion Charter School. Yes, that's a mouthful. In lacrosse, did the Mount Greylock
girls...
they
are on the road Friday in a quarterfinal at Amherst.
So the Mount Greylock girls are in Class B.
Sorry, yeah.
They are at Amherst on Friday at 7 o'clock. That'll be played at Amherst College, so they are looking to get to the Class B final. In Class C, it'll be Hoosick Valley boys again, and who are the reigning champions. They'll be playing Lennox or McCann. McCann and Lennox are playing on Friday at BCC, and the Wacona girls beat the Hoosick Valley girls in Class C, and Wacona will play South Hadley on Tuesday at Springfield Central. So that is your lacrosse and tennis breakdown. So let's talk a little baseball and softball. Softball in Class B, we had 3 Berkshire teams make it. Pittsfield, we had 4.
Just in general speaking, we had 10 of the 11 softball teams make Western Mass. Yeah.
And that's kind of been par for the course the last few years. Pittsfield lost to South Hadley in the 6-3 game. They lost 6-3. So that's kind of funny. In any case, tough one for Pittsfield. They're with them and then couldn't get the bats at the end. Monument lost to Frontier 8-3. Both those teams were on the road. Taconic beat Wacona. That was the 4-5 game. Wacona was at Taconic. Taconic won 4-3, so a very close game. But Taconic has now won 5 straight over Wacona, which is kind of crazy to think about. So maybe a little bit of a roadblock there mentally for Wacona with the Thunder. In any case, Taconic is at Hampshire, which is the 1 seed. Hampshire won won the Western Mass Championship 2 years ago, lost it to Pittsfield last year, and now is the 1 seed, and they are looking for another one. So Taconic will be at Hampshire.
That game's Sunday at 3 o'clock.
Sunday at 3 o'clock. There you go, Class B semis. In Class C, Lennox is the 2 seed. They made quick work at Pathfinder, so they now are going to host Franklin Tech. That was huge because Lennox got a big win over Monument in the final regular season game, and they had actually slipped to the 3 seed. And so now they got boosted back up to the 2 seed, so now they get to host Franklin Tech. They do not have to go there. And so Lennox will be playing Franklin Tech on Friday at 4:30. That will be at Lennox. Franklin Tech beat Mount Greylock pretty handily. So that'll be a really interesting game. Franklin Tech has a real pitcher. They're a good team. So that'll be a huge test, probably the biggest test for Lennox so far this season. And then also in Class C, the 4-5 game was a rematch between McCann and Drury. Drury beat McCann the first time around. McCann beat Drury the second time around, although that game was called due to rain. And this time around, no two ways about it. McCann took care of business, won 8-2. Paige Shello, a home run. She's had a great close to her senior season, which I shouldn't say close. It's still going, and she's a big reason. Part of it, made some nice plays at first base. Like I said, she's had some big hits, had the home run yesterday. So anyway, McCann, unfortunately for them, they will have to play 1 seed and reigning Class C champion, Greenfield. That game will be on Saturday at 4 o'clock. So that's a very tough matchup, but we'll see what they can do. And then in Class D, Lee took a brutal loss to Munson in the 4-5 game. Lee was on the road, and Bree Lynch, 10 strikeouts, was 3 for 3, and Lee lost 1-0 in the 7th inning on a walk-off. Yeah, so really, really brutal for Lee, which went to the Class D final last year. And then Hoosick Valley was the 2 seed in Class D. They won 13-1 over Pioneer Valley Regional. No real shocker there. Hoosick will play Hopkins Academy on Saturday at 4 p.m. I'm saying all these dates and times, barring rain. It's been pretty gnarly the last few weeks, so
yes,
we're assuming rain. But in any case, Hoosick Valley plays Hopkins, which is a pretty solid team. So if they win, they're in the Class D championship game. So it looks like we're in the hot seat to get 2 softball finalists in Western Mass.
Potentially, yes. We have 4 softball teams alive. But
2 have to play the 1 seed.
Yeah, 2 have to play the 1 seed. All are not playing Berkshire County teams, obviously. Baseball, we also have 4 local teams left. 2 will play each other. And actually, we have,
so
3 are top seeds.
Class B baseball, Pittsfield had a very, very, very close win over Hampshire. Walked off in the 7th to win it, even though Pittsfield's the 1 seed, so they won 2-1. Monument Mountain was the 5 seed. They were at number 4 East Longmeadow. Smoked the Spartans 19-1. So Pittsfield and Monument will play. Pittsfield kind of beat up on Monument just a week or so ago.
Yeah, bizarrely seemed like Pittsfield had the toughest first round matchup, given that they were the 1 seed, because Taconic also easily handled Smith Voke. I think 12-0, 12-1, something like that.
12-0.
Yeah, so it's that thing. I think Howard preaches about it all the time, but everybody has 1 pitcher, and Hampshire threw their 1 pitcher against Pittsfield, and he very nearly beat them. Had a no-hitter through 5 innings. I think his name is Jacob Sicard.
Yeah.
Sicario? Not Sicario.
No, that's a movie. Sicard.
Good movie.
Great movie.
I was once at a wedding, and a guy, it was a random aside. A guy was like, I like you because you look like Benicio from Sicario. And I was like, what are you talking about?
1, you don't. 2,
at the time, maybe I did. Yeah.
Whatever. You digress.
It was later in the summer. Yeah. So anyway, yes, Pittsfield was no hit through 5 innings. 6th inning, they kind of scratch and claw, run across. Connor Devine hit a single to lead off. Jack Abel singled at the top of the order, and then Maury Freed grounded out to score the run. Not generally how he collects his RBIs, but got the job done to tie the game. And then they switched from Matt Burega, who pitched very well through 6 innings. 6 innings. And then Simon Melly comes on, and he just kind of throws gas when he comes in relief. And he got 1, 2, 3. Quick inning, which kept the momentum going a little bit in Pittsfield's favor. And then you just had, their most clutch hitter, I would argue, Jackson Almeida, who had the hit in the state semis last year to, I believe, walk off out in Worcester. Yeah. So he comes up, and he kind of somehow hit a double. It looked like it was an awful swing. Kind of dropped his shoulder and just kind of flung the bat out there, but got it out to the outfield, found a gap and got to second. They pinch run from him. Connor Devine comes up, turns to bunt. Everybody kind of crashes bunt, so no one's guarding third base, covering third base, guarding it.
It's no longer basketball season.
So a pinch runner, I think it was Christian Berry this time, took third. And then, Camden Bravado continues an electric senior year for him. As a big member of that basketball team. And, hits a single, walks it off,
Pittsfield
and Pittsfield advances.
Will now host Monument Mountain in the semis. They're going to look to defend their Western Mass crown, which they won last year. Taconic is the 2 seed, so they will host Belchertown. Belchertown actually upset Pittsfield, so very much a real team. Taconic is looking to get back to its first Western Mass title since 2023 when it lost to Monument Mountain. But there's a very good chance we could have an All Berkshire baseball Class B final, which I believe in that case will be played at Wacona Park.
Yeah, so Taconic, the interesting thing, so they did throw Quentin Christopher, pulled him after 4 innings. He had somewhere around 60-something pitches.
I imagine Ben Storr's it's going to rain. He's going to be ready for the final.
Yeah, that's I think you can get away with going game 1, game 3 in high school in particular, but did pull him, I think, probably just to be like, okay, that's good.
He did more than enough. They didn't need him. But we're going to say who did need their ace. Drury beat McCann in baseball in Class C. Drury's the 1 seed. They had beaten McCann twice, and it hadn't been all that close. They eked out a 2-1 win. It was tied 1-1. Connor Hinkle had 15 strikeouts in the game. He shut things down. McCann, tough one for McCann. They will make states, but Drury advancing to the semifinals. They will host Athol, which upset Lennox in the 5-4 game. Athol won 10-4. So Drury looking to make it back to the Class C final, looking to win his first Class C final after McCann beat them last year. So I suppose this is a little bit cathartic to do so in the postseason. So that's it for Class C, though.
Another eight seed that had a very strong pitcher. Brody Smith threw that one. I saw him throw a one-hitter earlier this season. I guess that's maybe there's some strategy there where the 8 seeds feel pressed to throw their ace. Obviously,
this is Drury and McCann.
Yes, also that. And they are. Yes, we should mention McCann was the reigning champ.
For a reason. Even though they graduated some big pieces, but for a reason.
It's a strong program.
I'll just quickly say Class D. All Berkshire teams are out. Only Mount Everett made it, and they were upset in the 4-5 game by St. Mary's of Westfield, 7-1. So tough one for Everett. They will make it to the final. Excuse me, they will make it to the states.
Yeah.
But got through all that. So all that being said, a lot of baseball, a lot of softball.
7
still left
baseball,
to play.
softball semifinals coming up. Most likely this weekend.
I think a couple provided a lot this weekend. We're going to see how it happens with rain.
Invest in Quick Dry if that's a company.
Yeah. Oh Lord, this was 2 years ago, I guess. I was coming back from my family in Nashua, so I was like, all right, let me stop at a game on the way back, and that way I don't have to take a day off for work. And so I saw Belchertown Monument, and it was a drizzly day. And they called the game. You have to get through 5 innings to count as an official game. So we're like top of the 4th. So you need 6 outs, 9 outs, and then you can finish. And the umpires called the game, and it was so irritating. And they were putting out dirt in the first inning or so. I'm like, why are they not putting? Turns out the Belchertown AD bought 1 bag of dirt for the entire season.
It's a tough look.
What is wrong with? How stupid are you? So that's why they couldn't finish the game. So that wasn't great. So hopefully, these teams have a little better luck. Hopefully, Pittsfield gets Wacona Park done, and then that way we'll have a turf field.
That's a dangerous proposition because There is no bigger pool than the one on Wacona Street there.
Well,
so.
yes, this is accurate. But like I said,
But that
they
game
gotta
wouldn't be
fix it.
till like Wednesday, hopefully.
Well, no, what I'm saying is if they actually get this thing done and it's like a turf
get it.
field,
Oh, get the thing
then you
done.
can
Oh,
be
yeah.
you can be
Oh,
like just
you're
play
going
all
way
the
down
games
the line.
there.
Yeah. No,
Just play all the games there.
That never happened.
Pittsfield and Taconic, you can just play a game there, and it's easy and fine, and it doesn't matter. But yeah, so we have Pittsfield and Monument in Class B, Taconic on the other side of the bracket. So very, very well. Could have an all Berkshire Class B final. Could have a Pittsfield Taconic one, which we haven't had since 2022. You could have Monument Taconic, which is a rematch of a couple years ago. Drury back, looking to get back to the final, look to win its first Class C championship after being upset by McCann. In softball, Taconic trying to pull off the number one seed of upset of the number one seed, and Lennox and Hoosick looking to get to their first Western Mass Finals. That's it for us, though. Thank you for tuning in, and good luck to any of your teams in the Western Mass Finals.